This is the NBHL Championship quarterfinal of Tier 3 as your Raleigh Red Wolves take on the Rhode Island Rebels. The Red Wolves finished at number 4 seed and will now face the number 5 seed who already played today against the Atlanta Dirty Birds and came out with a win 4-2. We're taking a look to see who the Rebels are putting in the net. Looks like it's going to be Arthur Silva. And for the Red Wolves, it'll be Jim Trebus who will be getting the call. The team showing confidence that they have what it takes to take down the Rebels. Definitely the one to be watching here is CJ Verrera, who had 22 points in the regular season. False start, and we'll reset the clock and try it again. Vieira has 8 goals in the regular season, 6 goals for Devin Carrero, who is the other one that got to watch as we get underway here. Comes back, Helga up the board, so Austin Haas tries to set her up, finds Zarek with speed, dragging a couple of defenders to the right, escapes to the right corner, spins off of one. Centering up, nobody there. Austin Haas takes it into the left corner. Trying to look for some help, spins around. Devin Carrero lifts it up, looks for CJ Verrera, but it gets rejected back. Zarek getting tied up, pops up. Verrera trying to get control, unable, turns it around, and Austin Haas for the Red Wolves on the left wing. Tries a shot, goes wide of the net. Around the corner, Jacob Ennis moving in, getting some help from Martin Witt. Into the corner and taken up by Sean Fontaine. Will be lifted across and over to the hands of Danny Brennan. Turns it over though, Barrett Modi on the left circle, tries a shot, goes high. Vieira will just play it out and we'll go for the change. Quick up for the Red Wolves, turns to a 3-on-2. Looking for a centering pass, deflects off a defender. Picked off and tried to get through was Bobby Geim, who had a goal in the round of 16 game, which is actually a round of 12 since the bottom 4 teams are eliminated. Comes back behind the net, Barrett Modi, and now sends it back into the left corner. Holds it back into the corner from Modi. Tries to send it around the boards. David Lane. Lane getting pinned up on the boards. That was Eddie Costa is again tied up with. Now gets double teamed back to the point. Southern sends it back. Luke Jones with a shot, glove save by Silva. The first shot of the game, 2 minutes 5 seconds in. The winner of this matchup will face number 8 seed South Philly Moonshiners as they pulled up a huge upset, eliminating the number 1 seed North Hills Reapers. And face-off goes across the crease and into the corner. Attempted to clear away was Nelson Mora. Sends up through center. Now tosses to the right corner. Racing in there, but did not gain the line. Nick Palazzo thought he had the line, but it's come back for icing.
What seed is the team we're playing?
5. But the Rhode Island Rebels had a pretty weak strength of schedule, facing some of the lower end teams during the preliminaries, which gave them an easy number 5 seed. That's back to the point, and that's where the Red Wolves think they got the advantage. They think they haven't faced enough pressure, and they'll expose their weaknesses. Southern on the left point now sends it around the boards, trying to find Darren Chernoff, who has 1 goal this tournament, who came in with nothing during the regular season. Had to clear up and gets Kyle Koza, but held in on the right circle. Woodring spins around, facing pressure, now reverses. Hits the brakes, reverses again. Turnaround shot, nothing there. Moving in is Luke Jones, but will be beaten there, but he does recover. across to Woodring. Takes it to the circle, feeling pressure. Now back to the point. Gino Giangreco sent it around. Parker Zarek behind the net. Feels the pressure now, trying to go toward the point. Taken down was Martin Witt, and there will be a penalty called against the Rebels, and the Red Wolves will go on the power play. Or is it? Or did the ball go out of play? I didn't see where it was because the ball was nowhere near the net or nowhere anywhere, so it's actually going to come outside. I'm not sure what the call was. I thought there was a penalty called after the takedown, but apparently there isn't. But the Red Wolves will reset and win this draw. And it's back behind the net. As it goes back and around over to Haas. Open shot for Zarek and a save by Silva. You got back in the corner. Sent around the boards. Back behind the net one more time. Backhanded up by Eddie Costa. Turns it over. Tries to center up off a stick. Now the Rebels with control. But taking a poke check is Vieira. And sent right back around and over to Costa. Forecheck, which has been the forefront for the Red Wolves this tournament. Still getting to work back in the slot. Back to Haas. Gets himself some room on the left circle. Slips in the left corner. Recovers. Tries to throw it across. Nothing there for Martin Witt, but does recover. Now throws it back behind the net one more time. Parker Zarek behind the net. Now takes it to the left corner. Feeling the pressure from Eddie Costa. He goes down. We play on. Rebels looking the counter-attack, and now taken up by Steve Zentgraf, but held in by Witt. Once again, the possession game getting to work as they go wraparound shot. He scores! Umbrella move, and it is David Lane with a goal. Red Wolves up 1-0. They felt pressure all around, but stuck with the play. David Lane finds the slot, gets the pass he wanted, and catches the corner. It's a forechecking of the Red Wolves once again coming to the forefront in this tournament.
Come on, Black, do it again.
Guys, back to Barrett Modi. Now goes into the left corner. Takes it behind the net. Held up to the boards by Caden Pacheco. Back to Pelka. Throws it along, but turns it over. Held up, but Pelka trying to push it himself. He's one of those defensemen that will drop down from the point if he sees the opportunity. Goes over to Barrett Modi. Again, pressure by Pacheco. He gets broken up, and the Rebels back the other way. Trying to pass through the middle, broken up by Pelka. It's Bobby Geim the other way, trying to take the outside route, but a great defensive play by Tyler Southern. Now the Red Wolves back the other way, maybe some room, but broken up. He comes back to the slot, shot, rebound. Oh, a save by Silva. Back on the right corner, back to the point. Jones with a shot, deflects off a body. Back behind the net. Looking to wrap it around, plays it back to the point. Southern coming down from the line. Now draws it back to Luke Jones at the right point. Throws it back on the right wing. Now back over to Cassetta. Shot, he gets blocked. Back behind the net. Sliding into the left corner. Red Wolves with a lot of pressure as a shot gets stuck in the fencing. And we'll have a face-off. And the draw goes to... Let's see where they're going to place this one. Looks like it's going to go back to neutral. It'll be Matt Reardon on the draw. And it's one back over to Martin Witt. Throws it back on along the right boards. During the round of 12, the play-in games, the Rebels had some trouble keeping up with the Dirty Birds, despite them only being a number 12 seed. And we may be seeing that exposed now. Here's a shot. It's blocked. Back over to Luke Jones at the point. Getting pressured. Now turning around is Palazzo. 3-on-2 for Palazzo. Shot gets blocked, and Trebus not taking any chances as he'll cover. With 3:21 left in the first period. And that is the first stop by Trebus all game long. It shows how good the pressure is from the Red Wolves. Taking the draw is Kyle Koza, gets tied up. And a shot saved by Trebus, and he'll hang on. So another face-off to the left. Koza once again in the draw up against Matt Reardon. And pops up in the air. Still looking for control. Rebels have it. Turnaround shot. They score. Nick Palazzo with a turnaround shot and gets the near corner, and we are tied. It looked like Trebus got screened on the play as that ball kept bouncing everywhere. Palazzo with... He had 2 goals coming into the tournament. As it comes back into Red Wolves territory, but pushed back. Pacheco goes down, but it's an icing against the Rebels. Anyway, it's just one of those ones where the ball just keeps going left and right and just lands into the hands of Palazzo. And by then, there are just too many men in front for Trebus to see through. Here's Pelka. There's a shot from Giangreco, gets blocked. Back toward the left point. Taking a look. Sends it down in the slot. Haas plays to himself, turnaround shot, and steered into the corner. Back to the point. Zarek down into the corner. Escaping is Haas, tries a shot, gets blocked, recovers himself, back to the point. Giancarlo with a shot, saved by Silva. Back along the left wing, pops out to the floor. Did it get tipped? They say no ice, we play on. Gino Giangreco, here's the call, trying to catch him in the middle of the change. And we sent out of play, and this will come back. 2:10 remaining. It is David Lane with the goal for the Red Wolves and Nick Palazzo with the goal for the Rebels. Nick Cassetto will take the draw at neutral. He'll win it, and it's pushed in deep into the corner. Chasing it down with Nelson Mora thrown around the boards. David Lane behind the net, thinking about it. Now tries to make a move, spins back around, back behind the net, now throws it to the right corner. Back to the point. Sutherland with a shot, goes wide. Cleared away. Recovered by Modi. Tries to center up, is in double coverage. And the Rebels take control. Off a stick, it's tipped, waves off the ice. Sutherland will take a look, here's the call, and Luke Jones will take over. Now throws it back around. Is Sutherland, he'll just lift it up. And no ice, but could not get an opportunity. And goes off of Vieira all the way down to Trebus, and will be over to Reed Sutherland. Throws it around the boards. Now throws it on the left wing. Here's Barrett Modi. Hits the brakes, tries to push up. Runs into trouble, and now a clear in, and it's blocked by Jones through neutral. Approaching a minute left in the first period. Now, and it's behind the red line, so it was an icing. So 1:04 remaining. Face off to the right of Jim Trebus. Won by the Rebels. It is lifted up. Back over to Barrett Modi on the left corner. Tries a shot, easily stopped by Silva. The Rebels with control. Lifted up by David Andrada. It'll be reversed by Reardon, and trying to push it out is Martin Witt, and he will succeed. Along the right wing as Reardon crashes in, turns into a 3-on-2 shot off the outside of the post. Versus back behind the net, cleared away. Attempted clear off a couple of feet, lands in the slot, shot is blocked. Dangerous area, but the Red Wolves get away. Darren Chernoff will go up the left wing with 16 seconds left. In the left corner, back behind the net. Darren Chernoff trying to spin off of one, now back behind the net. Woodring thinking about it, now tries to, and he just gave it away with 2 seconds left, and will be broken up. That will be period. So the Red Wolves get an early goal with pressure, but the Rebels respond with a goal of their own. We're tied at 1 after 1. Team switch sides. Again, David Lane with the goal for the Red Wolves. Nick Palazzo with the goal for the Rebels. As we get underway in the second period, Red Wolves start us off. Zarek along the left wing just throws it down the floor, picked up by Eddie Costa. Played around to David Luck. Yeah, great steal. Here's Haas. Shot goes wide of the net.
Come on, Black.
Jacob Ennis plays back to the point. Pelka throws it back down. Gets a poke check. Settled down by Ennis. Feeling pressure from Andrew Bouchard. Back to the point. Throws it down low in the corner. Turn around. Shot saved by Silva. Turn around into the slot. Nobody there to pick it up, but it's going to turn into an icing against the Rebels. There hasn't been all that many shots on net in this period. It's the forecheck has been the story, not just for the Red Wolves, but the Rebels as well, as they have been throwing double coverage to the ball carrier. It's thrown into the corner. Rebels have control. Throws it out the boards. Intercepted by Nick Cassetta. Shot is blocked. Back the other way they go. Andrew Bouchard going left, was looking for David Luck. As it's thrown up the left boards. Was that icing? Yes, it's going to come back. 59 seconds going in the second period. But so far, a lot of disruption plays. It's the offense having a hard time trying to get to the net. Won by the Red Wolves. Could be lifted up through center. Barrett Modi with speed has a chance. Shot! He scores! Nick Cassetta up in front on the tip in, and the Red Wolves have tied again, have taken a lead. A great look by Barrett Modi and Nick Cassetta crashing the net and directs it through the 5-hole, and the Red Wolves take the lead once again, 2-1.
Here we go, Black.
And off the draw, ball goes out of play. It actually hit one of those signs of past teams here in the New Jersey region. And by rule, it is considered out of play. In the meantime, play goes into the right corner in the Rebel territory. Behind the net, thrown around the boards. Barrett Modi will take control. Back over to Southern. Shot tipped off a defender and wide. Back around Lane.
Come on.
Instead of trying to hold on, here's a shot from the point, goes wide. Hear the call from Southern. Telling Modi to back off while he gets the ball. Now back to Southern again at the right point. Deeks to the inside. Escapes. Passes. Nobody there. Nick Cassetta in the left corner. And Cassetta is pinned to the wall, goes down. And they almost had a breakaway set up for CJ Vieira. And it's going to come back for icing. That's the guy you don't want to give it to. Like I said, he came into the tournament with 22 points.
Come on, Black.
The majority of them come from assists, which he has 14 of them. And he did have a goal in the game earlier against Atlanta. It is spun around, held in at the line, thrown into the opposite corner. Mike Cassetta feeling pressure from Caden Pacheco. Matt Reardon holding the line. Now back to the point and a little too far back as they have to retreat. Martin Witt throwing up the right wing. Ethan Giangreco just pushes back in and will be covered by Silva, and that'll allow the Rebels to change. And that was an opportunity because the second period he got the long change. So that was a missed opportunity to take advantage of the tired line. But the good news is that was their top line, and the Rebels go into line number 2. Back to the point. Gino with a shot and a snare by Silva. 7:32 left in the second period. Nick Cassetta with the go-ahead goal at the moment. Won by the Rebels. Sent around the boards by Acosta. Will find his way over to David Andrada.
Come on.
But turns over at the neutral zone. They're battling for it. Now pops up the other way. Bobby Geim with a shot and he whiffs it. Geim trying to recover. Martin Witt giving him a hard time on the wall. Tries to throw around on the outside. The net comes loose and a penalty will be assessed. And I think this is going to go against Raleigh. Or is it? No, it's going against the Rebels. Because there was a takedown behind the net, and then I had remembered that the Rebels had touched up at the time of the whistle, so that has to be their penalty. And so the Red Wolves will go on the power play.
Go 86.
So set up to the left of Silva, goes into the corner. Nick Cassetta behind the net, has a goal so far. Now plays it back to Southern, goes right to Zarek. Returns it back to Southern at the left point. Thought about a one-timer. Now there's shot and a score! Austin Haas!
No, Sally.
A sniper shot and a power play goal to make this one 3-1.
Here we go, Black. No, Sally.
Go, Robo!
He didn't do it, did he?
No,
He didn't do anything.
Good boy. Does he normally?
An excellent power play goal.
Yeah, you were here.
Passing the ball around between Southern, Zarek, and then finds Austin Haas on the left circle and snipes one to the corner.
You can do something against, like, happy for yourself. Don't do that.
So the Red Wolves back under control as they turn it over at least for a moment, and it just goes into the right corner. Jacob Ennis trying to put on the pressure on the forecheck and forces the turnover, tries to center up, nothing there.
Get it back, Black.
The Rebels trying to reset their attack, but it's gonna be touched up as Luke Jones ends up negating the icing. Ennis tries to pass to himself, leaves it for Haas. Takes it back behind the net, left it behind. Fighting for it, Nelson Mora, just throw it around. Held in by Luke Jones, at least for a moment. Now goes back to the point. Zarek throws it down low to Haas. Haas going back, finds Southern at the right point. Shot going wide. Rebound attempt, centers off a body and into Silva on the pads. A fortunate redirect, but Silva already gets the pads down.
Well, I hope I'm not in the way.
You're my way.
You need a duck?
No, I chose this spot. It's all right. Here we go, Black.
So Haas with his third goal of the season. The penalty, by the way, was to Noah Kocher for interference. As it went back over to Witt. Here's a wrist shot. He scores! I think I got tipped on the way. But Gino Giangreco from the point to make this one 4-1. I think that got redirected. Didn't see who it went off of.
Black. Woo!
But a 4-1 lead, and the Red Wolves are in business as it goes straight into their bench. Draw one by the Rebels. Up the wall. Goes around the boards, but it'll end up being Giangreco with control. And Modi sends it down for icing. But I think there's only been 2 shots on net against Jim Trebus. So that's how well that the forechecking has worked for the Red Wolves. So we're waiting to see if it is indeed Gino, and yes, it will be Gino Giangreco that will be credited with a goal, his first one of the tournament. It is sent around the boards. And Red Wolves back in the attack. David Lane trying to go left, but they're offside. And well, luckily, Nick Cassetta there was touched it to avoid it being going all the way back. But the face-off back in the neutral zone. Giangreco with his first of the tournament.
Very opposite of the last game we were watching.
And Martin Witt and David Lane pick up the assists on that play. And look out, possible breakaway the other way. There's a shot saved by Trebus. Off the shot from Denny Brenham. Now Woodring tries to clear, held in, back on the right point in the corner. Gino Giangreco tries to clear. He does, but it'll turn into an icing. But that's the hardest that Jim Trebus has had to work in the net, facing a breakaway opportunity as Brennan decided to choose the outside route.
Here we go, Red Wolf.
It'll be Brennan on the draw. He'll lose this one. The Red Wolves push it out, and the Rebels forced to retreat. Up the right wing. It's Reardon. Throws it on net and trying to make a decision. He turns it over. Woodring with a shot and a save by Silva. A little indecision in the crease. He did have an option to either drop off to his player or take the draw to his left. Well, he will get the draw now, but that was a dangerous play as it ends up turning it over to Nico Woodring. So face off to the left of Silva. And by the way, both goalies for the Rebels are Silva's. The other one, I believe, was Tommy Silva. And then redirect right into the feet of Silva as he got lucky there on the redirect. One by the Red Wolves. Shot gets blocked and will be out of play. We'll see where they place the draw. It looks like it's going to stay down low. And Reardon had it for a moment, but it's back into the corner, picked up by Steve Zentgraf. Up to David Andrade. Andrade trying to break through, unable, runs through traffic, throwing around the boards. Nico Woodring will pick it up, at least for a moment. Pelka tried to set it down, rejected. Pelka trying to hold the line. At least he did, but pushed across by Noah Kucher. Shot going wide of the net. Back to the point. Wrist shot wide of the net from Steve Zentgraf. Tries another shot, gets blocked on the right circle. The Red Wolves clear the zone. Will it be icing? No, it's beaten out by Woodring. Woodring tries to play back, turns it over. Bobby Guine the other way, broken up for a moment. He has a chance, but he lost control. Tries to go back to the point, but it's taken away for a moment by Haas. He does push it across the line. Hold up, shot going high at the net from Bobby Guine. Back over to the point. As a shot gets deflected away, Sean Fontaine with the shot as it goes into the left corner. And it will be back through center. Zarek going onto the right corner, looking for an option, but is getting tied up. Turns it over to Guy, but it goes back to Zarek, and he saves it. Loose ball, and it's covered up by Silva. Another crazy bounce in front as Silva gets down in time with 3:03 left in the second. And the draw, it will be shot on net and stopped by Silva. Had to deal with a screen up there as it was getting chaotic in the circle. And another loose ball, backhand goes wide of the net. Goes back to the right corner. Jacob Ennis takes a look, now throws it around the boards. Nobody there. Picked up by Palazzo. He has the only goal for the Rebels. Up on the right wing, pressure to the outside, and great pressure by Luke Jones, but it stays with the Rebels along the right wing. Jacob Ennis forces the pressure. Maybe a breakaway if he has time. No, broken up. He had a chance but couldn't quite find a handle, but it's thrown in front. Still can't find its way to Silva. Thrown in front and cleared away. It'll turn into an icing for the Rebels. A lot of opportunities landing in the slot. And it's just creating those crazy bounces. Similar to what we seen with the Squall 2 years ago. They love to create chaos in the net.
Come on, Black.
And face off right in front. Silva waiting to make a move, and he will cover. I was surprised he didn't cover a second earlier because it was sitting right in front of him. But the Rebels are going to go for a full line change.
Go, Rebels, let's go! You just realized.
So now both teams bringing out their number one line. Into the corner, thrown around by Costa. Back to the point, Nick Cassetta. And unable to handle it. Did he hold the line, though? There's no signal, so we play on. As Cassetta spins off of one, thinks about it, backhands it across, but interrupted. And it's cleared out of the zone. Martin Witt spins around, tries to clear, held in. Vieira tries to stick handle this way, but it gets pushed out of the zone. Costa plays it back. Thrown up by Mora. Danny Brennan, right shot, deflected wide, rebound attempt, couldn't get all the way loose in front, and it goes behind the net. The Rebels almost had a lucky bounce themselves as it goes back out to Modi on the left wing for the Red Wolves. He does clear the zone, out it goes, the Rebels retreat. And saw the call for David Lane, but he missed him, and it turns into an icing with 1:16 left. So face off to the left of Trebus. I've only counted 3 shots against Trebus this entire game. But the Rebels have an offensive zone draw. As it's played by the Red Wolves, thrown back behind the net, around, but held up at the center line, but comes across, and Pacheco forces it, send it across, and a shot from Fontaine goes wide. Back on the left wing, Modi uses the body right into the hands of Devin Carrero. He'll try a shot, goes wide into the corner. David Lane tries to play to himself. Got knocked back for a moment. Almost had a 2-on-1. But it's David Lane on the right wing. Right corner. 35 seconds left. Penalty coming up against the Rebels. Shot, save, rebound, he scores! Nick Cassetta on the delayed call, and he'll get his second of the game.
There we go, Black.
And I believe that'll be his 5th of the tournament. It was going to be a delayed call for hooking, but it won't matter now. So it's now 5-1 Red Wolves. Things looking good for them. As right now, all three officials are over by the scorekeeper's table. Not quite sure why. I wouldn't expect anything major to come out of that. And I was right, as nothing happens there. They'll take the draw at center, and it'll be won by the Rebels. Eddie Costa on the left wing. Costa trying to find some help. Gets pressure, sends it across. Nobody there. Picked up by Palazzo, but throws it back to the point. Interrupted. Micah set up pressuring. 13 seconds left, and they're going to blow this one dead. We'll have a face-off. So it looks like they're going to place the draw at neutral, as that's where the stoppage occurred. But they will have the zone. It's cleared away by Micah Setta with 7 seconds left. Wide open, and look out in the feet. Where is it? It went under Silva, and it looks like he has made the stop with 3 seconds left. As it took a bounce off the boards, he went back to his net and ended up getting entangled in his pads. But a quick draw goes to the corner, and that will do it for period number 2. So the Red Wolves put 4 goals on the board and are well on their way toward the semifinal, but they still got 10 minutes to go. 5-1 after 2. Ready for the third period. 5-1 Red Wolves. And as a reminder, win this game and they face the South Philly Moonshiners, who pulled an upset over the number 1 seeds. So at least for now, the new favorites is the South Hills Invaders. It's another Pittsburgh team, but they are just as capable. Getting tied up as they go into the right corner. The Rebels are offside. But here comes Austin Haas on the left wing. He'll spin off of one. Takes it to the circle. Shot! And he scores! Parker Zarek! Right through the screen, and it's a 5-goal game, 6-1. The Red Wolves firmly controlled, diving through, and are they going to call that one? Interference is the call, as Bobby Geim was just crashing through the face-off draw, and it's going to end up being a Rebels power play. I'm not sure how to feel about that one, because now I may have missed something, but what I saw was him jumping through Matt Reardon. But in any case, the Rebels are going to go on the power play, and a much-needed one.
Go, Jim.
As it goes off the draw, Pelka takes it back behind his own net, plays off the boards, and the PK unit gets to work.
Jamal, stay back. I got the line.
As Silva will drop it off. They'll send it up the wing over to Bobby Geim. Pacheco centers it up, finds Geim again, but turns it over to Morton Witt. Nick Cassetta looking to push it out, and he does. Spinning around him is Sean Fontaine. As one goes down, but that was from him stepping on the stick. It goes back around the boards. Barrett Modi looking to clear, but back to the point. Pacheco with a shot, gets blocked, rebound, he scores! That one, I wasn't sure if that had crossed the line, but the rest said yes. Bobby Geim gets the goal. It was weird. It went off of, it looked like it went off the inside of the post, but it crossed the line entirely. It was a weird goal. So they narrowed the lead to 4 on a power play goal, but they still got a big hill to climb. Nick Cassetta on the left wing. They try to drive the net. Taking a quick look on the left wing. Back to the point. Jones with a shot, goes wide. Barrett Modi down to Nick Cassetta. Tries to center up, went all far official. The Rebels threw their own slot, but they will carry out. Palazzo with a shot and a save by Trebus. 8:26 to go in the third period. The Red Wolves still hold a 6-2 lead. So with the elimination of the North Hills Reapers, their chances of reaching the final have skyrocketed. But if the Moonshiners were able to take down a Reapers team as the -- 1 seed, who knows what will happen here. Turns it over at center. Koza, shot goes wide of the net. As Nico Woodring sends it around the boards. Southern up the right wing, tries to push it out, turns it over, held in the zone, but Reardon tries to play off the boards. They will finish the job, but it will turn into an icing and it's going to come back. 2:03 gone in the third period. And so far this period, both sides have traded goals. Zarek had started this off early in the period, and then a follow-up by Bobby Geim on the other end. The Rebels with control. Here's David Luck. Throws it around the left corner. Will be picked up by Southern of the right wing. Taking a quick look as Ethan Giangreco tried to play for himself, but they're going to let play go on as everyone was waiting for a delayed icing. Off the right wing, Luke Jones trying to power through, held in by David Andrade. Back to the point, but taken away by Mike Cassetta. Cassetta trying to break through, unable.
Here we go, Black.
Sentgraf trying to play his left. Shot saved by Trebus all the way from the center line. They'll just clear the zone. Sean Fontaine trying to hold on. Reversing is David Andrade. Back to Parker Zarek at the center line. He'll throw it down into the end boards. Fontaine tries to throw around. But turns it over. Shot going wide of the net. Be picked up by CJ Vieira. Haven't called his name a lot. As that was the guy that I was expecting to make a big impact considering his statistics as it goes back behind the net. Lifted up and unable to hold it was Fontaine. Played off the boards. Stick lift by Zarek. They'll just throw it into the left corner. Austin Haas spins off of one in the corner. Tries to turn around. Shot gets blocked. Can't power through. Rebels with control. Moving in. Gino Giangreco holds the line. Haas tries to spin off of one. Now throws it down into the left corner. Parker Zarek looking to go across off a body. Now goes off on the left corner. Rebels trying to clear. They do. But we'll be back over to Martin Witt. Over 4 minutes gone in the third period. Back into the left corner. Martin Witt. Pressured in the corner. Will be cleared out of the zone. They're going to say no icing here. Gino Giangreco. Here's the call and backhands it across. Lifted up by Nick Cassetta and thrown over to Parker Zarek on the left. Good stretch pass. Still getting pressured. We're seeing that forechecking again from the Rebels, but Zarek escapes. He'll try a shot, gets blocked, hits the banner. Lands in the right corner to Nico Woodring. He gets pressure by Brennan. Vieira trying to play to himself, but can't get through. Nick Cassetta with a shot, saved by Silva.
Oh.
Now we're seeing that forechecking return for the Rebels, but they're going to need a lot more than that now. It'll be Nick Cassetta on the draw, facing off against Kyle Koza. Koza will win the draw. It'll be lifted up by Mora, but it'll be Pelka. They'll intercept it, being chased down by David Andrade. Over in the other corner is Andrew Bouchard, throwing around the boards. Andrade getting pressured by Darren Chernoff tries a shot, save by Trevis. Off the shot from Eddie Costa. 4:40 remaining. And we'll see what the Rebels do. There's been multiple times I've seen today where teams that are down pull their goalie early because it is a single elimination tournament. And with them being down by 4, they may be thinking about pulling him very early. As it goes into the right corner. Will be pushed out. Matt Reardon trying to race it down with Sean Fontaine. Into the left corner. Now throws it back. Tries a shot, save by Silva. With 4:25 remaining. Last year, the Squall representing Carolina eliminated in the round of 16. In Tier 3, it was the Virginia Salty Crabs. They were eliminated in the round of 16 last year. Here come the Rebels the other way. Shot going wide of the net from Fontaine. Turning around is Bouchard. Gets interrupted. Baramoti plays one off the boards, but Bouchard recovers. David Lane trying to push it back.
Nice.
Kicked back by Modi. Tries to feed it through the middle again, but interrupted by Luke Jones. Jones in the left corner. But once again facing pressure. Tries a shot. Goes off of Silva, but it lands into the hands of David Andrade. But the Red Wolves recover. Plays back to the point, but it does cross the center line. Modi facing pressure from Fontaine. David Lane up the left wing. And now playing around the boards. Taking it up is Andrade, but Martin Witt gets there first, pushing it back. Andrade once again. He'll just push it down into the left corner. Gian Greco sends it around. As Fontaine tried to get there, unable, as it goes back over to the Red Wolves as they enter Rebel territory. But they recover. Fontaine centers up to Geim. Goes left. Still unable to cross that line as we approach 3 minutes left in regulation. 3-on-2. Shot saved by Trevis. And it's played off the left boards. And it'll turn into an icing against the Red Wolves. So with less than 3 minutes remaining and them down by 4, see what they decide to do here, because there are no more games if you lose a game. So for the time being, they're keeping Silva in the net. It's going to be a push into the right corner. Back to the point. Gazettenkraft with a shot and a save by Trevis. So face-off goes to the left with 2:50 left. And it's going to be tied up on the circle. Everybody fighting for it. That's how the Rebels got their goal last time. Goes back across over to Geim. Tries to center up. Looking for a deflection. Nothing there. Noah Kucher gets pinned up on the boards. Takes one down, but we play on. Jacob Ennis escapes a back checker. Being chased down by Palazzo. Behind the net, looking to center it up, and it ends up getting stuck in the pad of Silva. He was trying to feed it into the slot, but Silva had the pad out, and it gets wedged underneath, and a face-off will occur to his right. 2:22 remaining before the Red Wolves have a dance with the Moonshiners. Goes back into the left corner. Back to the point. Gian Greco feeds it back up at the left wing. Escaping is Nick Cassetta. Plays right. Martin Witt with a shot. Save. Rebound. In the slot. Still fight for it. Silva has it. The Red Wolves not letting up here. It appears that they are trying to make a statement to everyone else in Tier 3. That's the prelims. They were all close games, all by 1 goal. We thought it was going to be a 2-0 game in their game against the Gloucester Nexco, but apparently they didn't count the empty netter. Don't know why, but that's another story. Back over to Pelka at the point. Throwing around the boards. Mike Cassetta in the left corner. 1:50 remaining in regulation. Gets pressured into the boards. Now throws it around. It'll be picked up by Fontaine out the boards, but intercepted by Southern. Shot goes wide. Up in the air. They fight for it. Loose in the slot. Cassetta passes cross shot. He scores! Ethan Giangreco.
That was awesome.
7-2 Red Wolves. Great attention by Nick Cassetta to pass it over to Ethan Giangreco for his first of the tournament. And that should seal this one up with 1:31 left. So the Red Bulls will be facing the South Philly Moonshiners at 4 o'clock today. So they'll have 2 hours rest. But you gotta imagine what the Moonshiners have in store, considering that they just took down the #1 seed. As it plays along the boards. David Lane up over to Reardon. There's a shot saved by Silva. As it goes back through center, out of the zone. Southern will retreat back. As it goes across over to Barrett Modi on the right wing. Modi pushed to the boards by Koza. Modi still trying to push it over. Gets double coverage. Turns it back and over to Pelka. Across. And Southern with a shot deflected into the fencing. 43 seconds left. Back in the left corner. Played around by Costa. Held in by Pelka. Across to Modi. Tries to shoot it in. Whiffs it. But it goes out of the zone. But it's not like they're under any pressure here. 25 seconds left. Spinning around. Luke Jones plays it up the left boards. And an offside. But the rest is pretty much academical at this point, and the fact they're going to let the clock run. So yeah, they're going to call this one. The Raleigh Red Wolves are going to win this game in dominant fashion, 7-2. They send a statement throughout Tier 3 and will be one of the 4 teams remaining. And it will head to the semifinal to face the South Philly Moonshiners. They had confidence going into this game, and they had to get their footing in the first period, but second period onwards, it was all Red Wolves. So they will play the Moonshiners, the number 8 seeds, later today, and should they succeed, will head to the final where they will await their opponent. So that'll do it for this game. From Gloucester Township, New Jersey, this is Danny Wilson. We'll see you next time.